Oh gosh, I love this song. Wow. Oh my goodness me.
Still take a look at me now, 'cause this is the
I love this song so bad. Kia ora and welcome. My name is DB and I'm your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at EJAE with Against All Odds. Take a look at me now. This Phil Collins classic. I'm obsessed with this song. I'm obsessed with EJAE's vocals. So let's see what the two of them can make with this amazing music. We're going to be taking a look at what is she up to with the vocal technique. How is she creating those sounds? And most importantly, how can you create them? So if you want to learn more about your favorite artists' vocals and how they're doing these insane acrobats, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hang out with you more often. Honestly, like 90% of people that watch my channel are not subscribed to, so do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, EJAE, Against All Odds.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. You're the only one who really knew me at all.
Oh gosh, I love this song. Wow. So leave without a trace. Starts on the B below middle. See, I cannot just let you walk away. Right within the sweet spot of the female chest voice register. We've got thicker vocal folds lower down in the range. She's actually starting with quite a lot of volume for this part of the song. And she's adding a little bit of breath at the end. Let's just watch that again.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace.
Let you leave without a trace. Allowing those vocal folds to open on the trace. Pulling back on the volume is really important.
When I stand here taking every breath with you. You're the only one who really knew me at all. How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we shared the laughter and the pain, and even shared the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all.
Having a little bit of trouble with the fact that this is obviously just a very long ad for Liquid V. I'm struggling with that internally, but let's just keep on looking at her vocals. Where is the world going with product placement? It's like, we're just going to look at the vocals, okay?
You're the only one who really knew me at all.
So with that, my only one who really knew me at all. She's kept her larynx in a higher position than maybe, I don't know, some people might want to go, really knew me at all. And allow that larynx to come down for the pitch. Again, this is a very big stylistic difference and honestly completely subjective as to like how dark do you want to make the sound? How much of those lower resonances do you want to introduce? And we do that by changing the larynx position.
How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we shared the laughter and the pain, and even shared the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now, where there's just an empty space.
Oh my goodness me. So we've got the really knew me at all. The trick with this song is actually this is a song that I absolutely adore singing. The trick with this particular part of the song is not giving away too much at the beginning of the song. It's quite a long belty number, or even if you're not going to belt, if you're singing loud and high. So what's happening there is we're wanting to make sure that we're starting nice and quiet in the range so that there is somewhere to go, so that there is movement. Then so I'm feeling you me at all. Got sort of that like breathier sound there in the beginning, and then there's room to grow.
Who really knew me at all? So take a look at me now, where there's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. So take a look at me now.
Okay, so now she's like beefing up. So we're seeing the tongue. Take a look at me now. I think that's what I'm doing now. That's not what I would do on that particular pitch, so that's why it's kind of challenging for me. But what's happening there is when you hollow out the tongue like that, and the tongue is never relaxed when we're talking about singing, okay? We're actually allowing the back of the tongue to go down a little bit, adding a bit of tongue compression. And that fattening up of that tongue muscle is going to add more to those lower resonances.
To remind me.
I love this song so bad. My favorite one, I'm a big Phil Collins fan, but like probably my favorite one is Westlife with Mariah Carey. I have to admit that. Love me some Westlife, and I love me some Mariah Carey. So we got up on the C#5. So that is really about allowing the vocal folds to thin, lots of thyroid to it as you're going further. We're gonna get to that sort of section, that part of the vocals later on as well.
Where there's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. So take a look at me now, where there's just an empty space, and you coming back to me is against the odds, and that's what I've got to face.
So we've got that, and that's what I've got to face. Leaving the larynx in a higher position, tightening at the back of the throat, and making more of an air, almost as if she's adding a bit of twang in there, which is tightening of the area above the larynx. Face. What that does there is it really helps to firstly close the vocal folds. It kind of what's happening with my accent, almost brings the sound closer together. Sorry, I feel like I'm like yelling at you. Obviously, when you're talking about belting, I'm like yelling. So it focuses the sound by making the area at the back of the throat a little bit tighter. And that, I feel, is what's happening here. I think that's a Neumann microphone, is it?
Just an empty space, and you coming back to me is against the odds, and that's what I've got to face. I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you, so many reasons why. You're the only one who really knew me at all.
I'm just like chuckling internally because this is basically a really long advert for electrolytes and like hydration, and her voice sounds very dry. That's just, I don't know. Oh, but we know the type of year that EJ had last year, right? Like she had such I can only imagine her schedule. This voice was probably dry as a bone because she was just like traveling all over the place and she was probably just really tired. That's nothing against her vocals. It's not that it's not a beautiful vocal performance, but someone like myself, I know the sound. This is a dry voice. This is a very dry voice.
Reasons why you're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now, where there's just an empty space, and there's nothing left here to remind
So you can hear, can you hear that little bit of crackle coming in there? That's not constriction or anything like that. That's dry vocal folds. Those are tired vocal folds. Okay. So I think that's why she's not bringing more of those lower sounds into the first section, especially when the larynx, when the vocal folds are very dry. Getting that even thicker vocal fold contact can cause a little bit of irritation. So an increase in twang and an increase in the tightening of the area above the larynx can help us to get better vocal fold contact when we are having a tired or sick or whatever voice. Like the schedule does not stop for the voice. You can't just decide to do these things on a good voice day. That is what vocal technique gives you, so that you can always adjust according to how your body is, because it's a body, right? It has bad days and it has good days. And that's exactly why you need vocal technique to get you through these things.
And there's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now.
So we can see that there's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. Now, sometimes breathing higher in the range breathing high for those sorts of parts of the singing where we're not belting can cause us additional tension, because we're using more of the neck muscles to assist in the breath. But what can also happen is when we breathe higher in the range, we're also increasing pressure in the thoracic cavity, so like here in the chest, and increasing subglottic pressure, which helps us to close the vocal folds as well. So it could just be left here. Maybe she's underneath the jacket. Just watch for these shoulder movements to basically engage the lat.
Empty space, and there's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now, 'cause there's just an empty space. But to wait for you is all I can do, and that's what I've got to face. Take a good look at me now, 'cause I'll still be standing here.
Okay, so voice sounds tired, but we're going to go with it. Okay. So I suppose because I've also got a little bit of like the Mariah Carey version in my head, I was sort of, and also we know EJ can do like crazy things with the voice, but perfect example of how it's not always about the vocal fireworks, and it's still a really wonderful performance, even though she maybe has adjusted this to fit her voice on this day. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not her doctor. I'm not her vocal coach. So I don't know how she is actually feeling. I'm just going through, if she was a student in front of me, I would be asking these questions as well. I would be asking about, how much have you been drinking? What's your schedule been like? Have you got your period? All these sorts of things that can bring in that tiredness, that crackle that maybe some singers don't even want in their voice. Okay, so we got left here to remind me. There's not a lot of weight in this sound as well.
And there's nothing left here to remind me, just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now.
So she's creating a lot of that darkening with the tongue. You can see there it's kind of hollowing out. Take a look at me now. There's just an empty space. And when we do that, we're compressing the tongue muscle, but also we're allowing the back of the tongue to go down, which is another way that we can darken the timbre of the tone.
Your face. Now take a look at me now, 'cause there's just an empty space. But
because there's just an empty space. Okay, she did a bit of a fancier riff there. Bringing the back of the tongue higher. Again, tightening the area at the back of the larynx. Great way to close those vocal folds. It creates more of that space. Don't ever for a moment think, though, that the tongue is like relaxed in that moment. It's coming forward. We've got a high tongue. We need that to stabilize the larynx.
for you is all I can do, and that's what I've got to face. Take a good look at me now, 'cause I'll still be standing here.
And we said, take a good look at me. And and she kind of reached up a little bit. Look, EJ is a professional singer. She's been training for a very, very long time. She's also a fit individual, okay? So that means that she won't be showing us all of the effort that has gone on in her vocal training. We're not going to see that. It's going to look easy now, okay? But the ease comes from years of training, okay? But she did go, take a good look at me now. Oh no, that's actually the Mariah Carey one. But she's going back and up. And that way she's engaging through those larger muscles of the back. But even if you try that, you can also, I can feel that down in my lower back, because that's what we want to do. We're engaging the entire back chain of muscles when we are singing, because it's not all about just working up here.
'Cause I'll still be standing here, and you coming back to me is against all odds. It's a chance I've gotta take. Take a look at me now.
Oh, it's not even the whole song. Okay, take a look at me now. So we've got that little bit of breath coming in there. And again, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was like a full-on, I mean, I did at the beginning, but I didn't realize it was like a full-on advertisement for electrolytes. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I would say if you're like wanting to take anything, like consult a doctor. I don't take electrolytes, and I work out quite a lot. Whatever. Anyway, drink water and tea or whatever. Actually, I do just want to have to say, and it's not to say like my voice is the only voice out there. I just hear so much crap about like what you should drink and what you shouldn't drink as a singer. Drink whatever the fuck you want, okay? Drink water, drink tea, drink coffee, drink Coke, whatever. Just notice what it does to you. Notice what it does to you and your body and your voice, okay? For example, like I know if I'm going to sing, I can't drink orange juice because that gives me so much phlegm. But if I'm not singing, I can drink my orange juice, yeah? I am allergic to milk, so I don't drink milk. Like, there is nothing that's off limits. I drink shitloads of coffee. I've only drunk coffee actually this morning, and here is my cup of tea. So it's not about what's good and what's bad and what everyone else is doing. It's about trying to figure out like what works for you. If you fucking want to drink electrolytes, drink electrolytes. Honestly, I think it's just expensive pee. But you're like, think about this idea of like, just notice what goes on in your own body. For example, when I'm feeling quite dry in my throat, I will tend to have I don't have them with me. They're actually over there. Like a standard cough drop, right? Like, but not the medicated ones. Like, honestly, even just like a gummy bear, like just sucking on a lollipop, okay? It's just about getting those like the swallowing is what helps you to get the moisture onto the vocal folds. And you can't swallow like more than 1 or 2 times without actually like having liquid or something in the mouth. So that's why a lot of singers will often like hide just a cough drop up underneath their cheek when they're singing. Just gives them that extra ability to create saliva. You can also bite on the tongue if you're finding that beforehand, or you can think about lemons. I find that quite difficult, to be honest. I just shove a cough drop up there. But like, for example, if I'm having a really dry voice day, I will drink pineapple juice, because pineapple juice contains an enzyme called bromelain, and bromelain is also something that can like an enzyme that can help to produce the good saliva that we want. There's sort of like heavy, thick saliva, and then there is the usual or mucus, and then there is the thinner, more fluid mucus that we want. We want it to be nice and fluid. So there's just lots of different things. Notice what goes on in your own voice. I'd love to hear what you like to drink or eat or whatever before you sing. Everybody's different. And so that's why it's really about finding like what works for your individual instrument. Don't go and like, I mean, just you also just have to drink enough, whatever that may be. Yeah, that was a beautiful performance. I felt like it was a little bit held back in terms of what we know EJ can do. I hope she really made bank though on this performance. And what we saw there though was a really great kind of mixed voice quality, you could say. I didn't actually mention the thyroid tilt because I feel like I filmed sort of like quite a lot on one day, so I've kind of been banging on about thyroid tilt quite a lot. But thinking about this idea of the mixed voices, there is the chest voice being taken further up in the range, allowing lots of thyroid tilt to come through. And how much vocal fold closure you've got is really dependent on like kind of what the sound is that you're trying to create. But wow, Awesome performance, EJ. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite EJ performance is, because I think Golden was just golden. And I really want to see what she's doing next. So just remember, anyone can sing. We're going to check out some more EJ up here so you can continue on with your learning. Do me a massive favor though, hit that subscribe button. I'm a full-time singing teacher and I would really love, yes, vocal coach and singing teacher, same dog, different leg. I would really, really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It does help me to help more people like yourself with their singing. And just go out and get practicing. I've got some freebies down in the description below if you're not sure what to practice, but get out there and go do some singing. Ka kite anō.